We all know what skyscrapers are, but what are groundscrapers? Effectively the opposite of a skyscraper, a groundscraper is a large building that sprawls along the ground rather than soaring into the sky. The term came to prominence when Google unveiled plans for a groundscraper that will become their London headquarters. Designed by Bjarke Ingels, Thomas Heatherwick and British architectural practice BDP, the vast $1.3 billion office block is only 11 stories high, but more than 1,000 feet or 330 metres in length, as long as London's Shard is tall. The building is an example of how extending horizontally, rather than vertically, can provide large amounts of office space needed for global corporations. The building will create over 1 million square feet of space, around 80,000 square metres, and become home to some 7,000 Googlers. Google's new UK headquarters is one of many groundscrapers being built around the world. In California, another tech giant, Apple, is also building its headquarters. Known as the Spaceship, the giant circle-shaped office is only 4 stories tall, but more than 1 mile in circumference. Other prominent examples around the world include the Vanke headquarters in Shenzhen, China. Designed by American architect Stephen Holl, this office block is as long as the Empire State Building is tall. Germany's largest office building, the Square in Frankfurt am Main, is another example of a groundscraper. Built on top of an existing train station, the 9-storey building is 2,200 feet or 660 metres long. This is longer than One World Trade Center is tall. Proponents of groundscrapers argue that they have many advantages over skyscrapers. They do not impact a city's skyline, are comparatively cheaper to construct, and are more energy efficient, as towers often demand a greater degree of mechanical climate control. Groundscrapers can also create more socially inclusive spaces that encourage interaction between staff and people outside the workplace. Of course, one clear disadvantage is that groundscrapers occupy more land, which can be more expensive. Groundscrapers are not a new phenomenon. One of the first buildings to be referred to as a groundscraper was Merchandise Mart in Chicago, which opened in 1930. Although only 18 stories tall, the building has a 4 million square foot or 372,000 square metre floor area and is almost 50% larger than the Empire State Building. The Pentagon, built in 1943, is another early example of a groundscraper. Although only 5 stories tall, the building is one of the largest offices in the world. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get more for the definitive video channel for construction, subscribe to the B1M.